off a daily fantasy. His number too high, then I'm probably fading him. He been on the road, he gon' eat up my salary. I hit a buy, he gon' lie before lock. Play back to back, then I probably won't pick on the DFS bachelor good as it gets. Build a few liners and hit me a leg. He had a good game, but it might be a trick. Log in the Slack so I know who to pick. Sharing our liners, we all gon' get rich. New to this game, you should come to the pad. You might want some cash and get a good laugh. DFS sports, we gon' run up a bag. He heard every game and it's making me mad. You buying your lineups, I think you a cheater. DFS bachelor, he the new leader. Yeah.
What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the Bachelor Pad. I, of course, am your host of DFS Bachelor, and I am joined by our quote-unquote, I don't even know if I can say that in the intro yet.
I don't know either.
Mike, our League of Legends DFS analyst. We're just playing. We have a lot of fun in the comment section.
The only drug I need is caffeine.
There we go. The only drug I need is life. Just stay high on life, people. Cheers. Cheers. We're going to go over tonight's LPL LCK Draftkings slate. It's a 4-game slate with 3 LPL games. That's the Chinese league. We already have the starters for that. Very easy. And then 1 LCK game. I think a lot of these teams, this is either their last or second to last game. The regular season is extended, that's right, until the 20th because they postponed some matches earlier and they moved it to the 20th. So I believe I'm pretty sure that's right.
Well, I'll check. I thought today was the last day.
No, I swear that there's more games. I was looking at the you can double check it, but I think because remember they postponed a few games until the 20th. I can't remember what day that was. It was a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, so we have games 18, 19, 20.
Yeah. So we got a few more days, and we get to bet against V5 one more time. First things first, thank you for all your guys' support. As you know, the esports side of the show continues to grow. Like, it's truly humbling, and we really, really appreciate it. Thank you so much. If you are new to the channel, welcome to the team. Be sure to hit that subscribe button down below. Get access to all of our content. Also, check out the video description below. That's where you can find our Twitter handles if you want to ask us questions. Look, I know not everyone loves Twitter. I'm right there with you, but it is the easiest way to communicate with us and see updates and starters, etc. It's just a really effective way of getting information. I don't know how else to slice it. Yeah. Also, link to Mike's YouTube channel down there as well. He's doing, daily streams and live streams of the games, breaking things down piece by piece, talking about yesterday's lineups, etc., the perfect lineup builder, all that stuff. So there's a link for all that down below. And later today, I will be on the sportsbookreview.com roundtable. Be sure to check that out. I'll have a link in here once it comes out. So if you check back in here later after you watch it and you want to come support your boy, give a thumbs up, and make it seem like I'm a bigger star than Joey Chestnut. I really want the video that I do to get more views than Joey Chestnut. In fact, if we get 20 comments in the comment section in the Sportsbook review video, I will increase the giveaway on Saturday to $75 instead of $50.
Yeah, so comment DFS Bachelor sent me here or something like that.
Yeah, or just tell them how awesome I am, or make up a lie. Anything that just lie. It's totally
Great
fine.
Idea.
I tell every woman I start dating, just lie to me. I don't care about the truth. Just lie to me. This thing will go great. Everything will go fine. But check me out over there. I would really appreciate that as well. I'll have the link tweeted out on Twitter as well when it's up. So for some of you who watch the show right away, which I really appreciate you guys, you won't see it in the video description right away. It'll be later on today. I'll have to go back and add it. So there's all that. Don't forget to comment with your guilty pleasures. The giveaway is tomorrow. Tomorrow is Saturday, right? Today's Friday? Yes. So the giveaway is tomorrow, and it could be up to $75 we're giving away. All you have to do is comment with your guilty pleasure while you're quarantining. We have some good ones in the comment section. For me, the winner of the day was this one. I don't know if he wants me to say his name, so I won't. But this is a great one. His guilty pleasure is watch your Tiger King while questioning his sexuality and trying to decide if that bitch Carol fed her geezer to those tigers. Number one, yes, she did. She definitely fed her husband to the tigers. That is freaking hilarious. The other good one, I like this too. Eating 3 different batches of Rice Krispie treats and then watching Mona on Disney Plus. That's a guilty pleasure. That is absolutely a guilty pleasure. So.
Can I vote for my favorite one?
Yes, I think
the best comment of the day was easily by Mike Crowther. He said, "Yikes, bro! LNG stacks won all the money." And if you want some more context, go down in the YouTube comment section and go explore. Go explore. See what happened down there.
Our boy, he's just having some fun in there, but pretty funny. But that's what happens when you come out and say that Mike is crazy. Then what he says is right, and LNG is the first place lineup that you would have wanted. I had plenty of LNG, so thanks, Mike, for that. I wouldn't have played him if it wasn't for Mike. So, well,
I think the two things are is that the person who originally was like saying that I'm crazy, like I mean I get it, and he also said like anybody can win, which I think if he has that mentality, then fine. Yeah, like you basically understand it. Like I think most teams do have a chance to win. Like I think the biggest underdogs probably have a 20 to 30% chance to win, except for maybe V5 because like I've been wrong about that all year. But yeah, I think he's right about that. And then it's really like LNG, even if you don't think that they're better in every single role, it's very smart to just kind of go against the public sometimes, even if there's not a lot of reasons that you can see. So the fact that LNG hasn't won a ton of games, World Elite's a popular team, and then they have a new top laner, like all those things are reasons to not pick LNG, which is exactly when I want to get onto LNG.
right.
And the last thing I would say is the Invictus Gaming versus EDG matchup. Somebody was telling me, well, I saw it on Twitter that EDG actually had more ownership than Invictus Gaming last night, which I think that's a part of the problem with depending on other people for information sometimes is everybody wanted EDG because they thought World Elite was going to be very good or JDG was going to be very good.
Mm-hmm.
So in order to stack those teams together,
you needed EDG. Exactly.
You needed EDG. So then everybody was like, oh, well, I'll just play EDG. And like, it was kind of a thing where it seemed like the sharp play was to pick the underdog, but it ended up being the exact opposite. So
the sharp play was picking the underdog. It was picking LNG, which is what we did.
You're damn right.
That was the sharp play.
I was going to say that as well. Game stacking. I called out the game stack before during our video yesterday, and it's exactly for that reason. So when you have 3 games, if 2 of them don't go according to script, or if like one of the 2 games for a sweep is really low scoring, then there's an easy avenue for a team that goes 1-2 to be one of the highest scoring teams on the slate.
World Elite was just fine. If you played World Elite and stacked him with JDG, you were in the money.
World Elite LNG was the number 1 team last night.
Yeah.
The game stack with JDG.
I thought it was JDG with JDG, right? JDG was in it.
The team with JDG, yeah. So it was a 4-2-1.
Yeah, 4-2-1. Anyways, good night. Great stuff. Love it. We're having fun around here. Thank you all so much. Like this has kind of rejuvenated me. Sometimes the monotony of NBA can get to me. Doing something different and having it's just been a lot of fun. So I appreciate you all. I really do. Be sure to be part of that giveaway. Just giving away $75 of my own money. It's like 3 bottles, a bottle and a half of whiskey, Or
like 7 bottles of wine.
Or like 7 bottles of wine. Yeah, whatever you want to do. My buddy's been drinking wine too. It gives me a headache. Wine gives me a headache.
Then I would not suggest drinking it.
That's fine. If it's the only booze in the house, guess what? It's getting drank. So.
Drink.
All right, so we got a 4-game slate tonight. Like we said, 3 of the games are LPL, which is the Chinese league teams. Those starters are already out, and I've already tweeted them out on my Twitter timeline. I'm sure Mike probably has as well.
Yeah.
Just scroll down, you'll find it there. The 1 Korean league game is not the first game on the slate. KT Rolster, Damwon Gaming. Interesting history between those 2 teams. They've played a couple of times this spring. But we won't know the starters of that before lock, most likely. Since they're so close together, there's a small chance, but it's very, very slim. So that is just something to think about, as I say to everyone in case you're new to the channel, about the information about starters, etc. We want to avoid those zeros. I still see people, damn it, I got zeros. We're trying to avoid the zeros. I haven't gotten a 0 in weeks. And there are ways to do that. There are ways to do that.
It just happened to a lot of people on the Brazilian slate.
Right.
There was like an 80 carry who people thought was going to start, and then he's like 17% owned and the backup is in.
Damn. Brutal.
Yeah.
It's freaking brutal. That's what happened the other night when I stacked Sandbox Gaming, when they switched their whole lineup up. Their 80 carry was 1% owned in my I was like, what, like 1.36. I couldn't fucking believe it. Anyways, let's get started. Our first game, Victus Gaming versus V5. For me, this is very, very easy. stack Victus Gaming, do it confidently, enjoy yourself, enjoy the fantasy points, can play every position you want against them. That's it. I have zero reason to play V5. I know that Victus Gaming is not a world beater. They're not one of the better teams. They are still alive in the playoff picture, however. Barely.
Yeah.
So, and V5, I just don't see any hope.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, I've been on V5 a bunch of times, trying to just like be contrarian. Um, we'll have to get through the entire slate before I really figure out if I think there's any chance of getting them into any of my lineups. But one thing to keep in mind is the whole playoff implication thing. Like if you're a team like Invictus Gaming, or RNG or somebody like that, when you go up against V5,
Oh yeah,
there's like
I messed up. They're Vici Gaming, not Victus Gaming. Sorry, it's VG. My bad. That's my
yeah,
bad.
yeah. So it's like if you're one of those amazing teams, and you're going up against like V5, I think it's a lot easier for you to kind of just look past them and not take them seriously. When you're a team like Vici Gaming and you have one of the best coaches in the world and you still have the playoffs on the line, I could see this easily being a game where VG Gaming just goes out and destroys them 2 games pretty fast. With that being said, because of all those implications, I could also see it being like the only way that VG Gaming scores a ton of points is if V5 playing from behind continuously just throws themselves at VG Gaming, which isn't necessarily a guaranteed way to score points. So I think when we look at the salaries of everyone, VG Gaming is the second or third highest in every position. You have to think that it's going to be like between 20 to 30%.
Yes, the ownership's going to be high. It is.
So I would not go over that number at all.
I agree with that.
I wouldn't even want to get close to that number
Well,
because
have your exposure to it because you V5 they give up so many points, dude.
I
They're
know, but it's just I think that this is a spot where VG Gaming their job is not to score DraftKings points. Their job is to score wins.
right. You're
So
right. That makes sense. That does make
so
sense to me.
I think that if you're going to have VG, you're going to need to be super different.
Hmm.
So maybe pairing them with like a very low owned underdog from one of the other games, or maybe you have to go to a top captain or a support captain.
Yeah, like a VG Rogue Warriors seems enticing to me.
Sure, I could see something like that. But also I think VG might just be better off as one of the secondary stacks
Sure.
and like going for like a support or a top laner or a team spot. Like a
Hmm.
couple people were asking me questions about that yesterday in comments and stuff, saying, "Hey, like I know that you mentioned that there's a huge correlation between winners at 2-0 and like the support position and the team position. Like, can you kind of explain that a little more?" So it's basically just the percentage. A game not played bonus is worth 20 points for a player and 15 points for a team. So if a team if a team's upside is basically scoring 70 points, then like
Yeah.
the 15 is one a little bit over a quarter of that,
Right.
right?
Right.
So a player's upside in general, like if you're an 80 carry or a mid laner, their upside is 150. So 20 out of 150 is like 1/7, or a little bit less than 1/7. So it's obviously a much more important bonus to hit.
Right.
So I think that for Vici Gaming, the chance of them winning is significantly higher than them being the highest scoring players on the stack.
Mm.
So if I was going to get exposure to Vici Gaming, I would prioritize
Support and team.
team number one.
They're expensive. They're 6K. I think they're the most expensive team. Yeah, they're the most expensive team price
Yeah. So okay, so that makes it a little more difficult.
because of the high 2-0 upside. Because I
Yeah.
mean, Victory 5 is 0-15 in terms of matches, and in their last 31 games inside those matches, best of 3, they've won one game. They're
Yeah.
1-30. Like the 2-0 upside is outrageous.
Yeah.
It's just it's just crazy. So yeah, if you could sort it out and still fit them in as a team, I completely agree.
Yeah.
I
My
agree.
whole thing is I'm not convinced enough in VG Gaming to feel comfortable betting hundreds of dollars on them. Like if I'm gonna put out 150 lineups in the $10 competition, I'm not gonna personally try to get 30 or 40% exposure just because it's like, okay, well, VG Gaming goes out, disappoints, not only did I not differentiate myself with everybody else, but now I'm sitting here with 30% dead lineups just because I wanted to have the upside of playing against V5.
Sure.
I think it's going to be the first spot that everyone looks. If you go to any other
Well,
site
like cash
or watch any
gameplay,
other
probably
video,
the best cash gameplay on the slate. If you're
yeah,
playing cash games, 50-50s, just throw Vici Gaming in.
yeah, but just be careful. Every single place that you go to today is going to say just
Vici Gaming.
gaming. It's going to be so easy, but
Yeah.
it's really not that simple.
Right.
But we'll have a better understanding once we get through the last.
No, I do agree with what you're saying. Differentiating yourself and going a little under, or you can go way over. You can just put them in everything.
Yeah.
You know, there's two different ways to differentiate yourself from the chalk. You can go way over on the chalk and try to give yourself a bunch of different unique ways if they are the highest. There is a scenario where they're the highest scoring team. I think it's probably FPX. For me, like I would pick right now would be the highest scoring team on the slate just because of that matchup with Rogue Warriors.
Yeah.
But we'll get to that. But yeah, Vici Gaming seems very safe in cash. For me, it's very safe. I'm rooting for Victory 5, man. I just feel so bad for those kids.
For a real life bet, I would look at the 1.5 maps.
Yeah, perfect. Our second game is the only Korean League game on the slate, KT Rolster and Damwon Gaming. These two teams have played, by the way, KT Rolster is the favorite in this, last I looked. It's pretty close. They've played twice. Damwon Gaming on February 16th beat KT 2-0. On March 25th, KT beat Damwon Gaming 2-1.
Wait, they've already played twice this year?
Yeah, they played on the 16th and the 25th.
Huh.
I went through the game log site.
Maybe they're. I don't know why that would have happened, but okay, that's fine.
Yeah, they played on the 25th and they played.
Oh, okay. Hold up. So the regular season for Korea is done.
Yeah, this is like a round 1, 4-5 matchup, but it's still best of 3.
Okay, yeah. So this is the first round of the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
I think that Damwon Gaming is the better team. In terms of talent, I think that the only way that KT can win this is by destroying Damwon Gaming in the draft, which has actually been a problem for Damwon Gaming. But for me, I go for the better team, like talent wise, every single time, because I would not be surprised if you said like Ghost or Showmaker just like carried 2 games in a row and it was 2-0.
Right.
So there are a few other things to consider, I guess, since it's the first round of playoffs. We're getting regular season games versus playoff games. So if I asked you for any other sport, what would you rather have, playoffs or regular season?
For me, probably now it's easier to predict who's going to play and like workload for a playoff game because there's more on the line. But teams tend to be a little more tense in a playoff game. They tend to do things that they wouldn't necessarily do. They're not as aggressive. So I would honestly like give me a sloppy Charlotte, give me a sloppy New Orleans Pelicans Washington Wizards game before you give me a game 7 of the Eastern Conference semifinals.
Exactly.
In terms of fantasy upside.
So I think for that reason, in this series, I would expect it to go 3 games. So whoever the underdog is on the plus 1.5 maps, I would probably take the plus 1.5 maps.
Yes, 100%.
And then in terms of the team position, I'm probably staying away from the team position in this game because I do think it'll be a close series. And the other problem with that is that when you get into these games, you don't necessarily need to have great objective control to win. Like if you are, let's say you're Damwon Gaming and you're focused on getting kills around the map, you take the first 2 Rift Heralds and you trade away the first 2 Dragons. Even if KT has a 2 Dragon lead and plays around Dragon as one of their win conditions, all Damwon Gaming has to do is win 1 team fight around the 3rd or 4th Dragon, and then they're going to be able to win that game without having the huge like team upside. So I don't like the chances of them getting a game not played bonus, and I don't like the chances of them winning through macro like 2 games in a row, which is how you get that 70-point upside
right
from your team. And then at the same time, I don't love the players in this series either, because I do think it could be like, okay, well, trade objectives for the first 15 minutes, at least in the first game. Like whatever the kill line is on the first game, you probably want to bet under on the kill line, and then I could see either team just being super passive. Like KT is probably the more passive team out of the two, so it's going to be on Damwon Gaming to try to force the issue.
Right.
I think I definitely like Damwon Gaming more. I just don't see them having the same upside as like a regular season LPL match
Yeah.
for something like this. The
Yeah.
only way it gets like that is if KT decides to draft a team fighting composition like they did in their last matchup against Gen G, because KT basically had this idea where like they would bait Gen G into picking Azir, then they would pick something like Vel'Koz, which is like an extremely high damage mid laner,
Okay.
and just fight them at the first dragon and try to get a lead to snowball. And it worked out very well against Gen G, but they still ended up losing that series. So I think that's one of their go-to plans for the playoffs is to play around like a huge fight around dragon around the 10-minute mark or 14-minute mark or something like that. So watch out for that. That's the only way it can go crazy. That's the only upside that Damwon Gaming has in this matchup, I think.
Right. And I will say these two teams, a lot of them do like Damwon Gaming right now seems a little bit safer at the jungler position. They only have one jungler. Canyon's going to play no matter what. With the Korean games, can we play their normal starters more comfortably now that it's the playoffs? Are they not going to get cute and start playing subs, or is that just based on the matchup?
I just moved my mic, by the way. So am I a lot louder now?
Yeah, you
Or-
sound good. Sounds great.
Okay.
Yeah.
So in terms of backups, I don't think either team should play backups.
Right.
Like from a philosophical perspective, like I hate backups. I think it's just a stupid thing that they've adapted from like traditional sports because they felt like they should. There is no additional upside to having substitute players.
Right.
It
The only
just-
one that seems risky for me is the jungler for KT. They played Malrang the last game. They have Bono.
that
and
was
Mal-
that was bullshit. That was just a bunch of bullshit.
oh,
It
they
was
played
like-
him in one game.
Yeah,
only played him. They
so
subbed
basically
him out.
they dominated the first game, subbed out their top laner and their jungler to try out a composition, like a weird composition, and then they took them back out because they got destroyed. So I do not expect the backups playing tonight,
Okay.
and that's only another reason to stay away from this game.
For me,
which-
the best bet you talked about it is the +1.5
for
for Damwon Gaming, because all Damwon Gaming has to do, they could lose 2-1 and you just won your bet. It's
well, if it is +1.5, it depends on what the number is. So let me look that up. But I like them outright.
Yeah.
So
I
if
mean,
I'm-
they've won 3 out of the total 5 games they've played in the 2 matches. Damwon Gaming's won 3 of them. There's no reason to believe they won't at least win 1. It feels like a safe little bet for an underdog too. So there's not a bad margin on it. Like if you're doing like a 3 pick parlay, and you just pick Vici Gaming to go 2-0, because I mean it just seems very likely they're going to, and then you can increase your odds and your payout by going to Damwon Gaming +1.5, and then FPX over Rogue Warriors feels pretty safe as well. We'll get to that in a second.
Sure.
Could be a good betting night. It might be a night where I have to go in and throw like $100 in on like a parlay like that.
Sure.
What's the best site to do that? Bet DSI? You like Bet DSI? Bet
Bet
AG?
DSI is kind of shitting itself right now. It doesn't have any. It's like keeps saying server run application error or something. So
Well,
it's,
there's Bet AG or something like that too. I'll have to look into it some more today, because I think I'm feeling something like that.
word.
Going for something, have some fun, do something different. Next game. Anything else on that game before we move on?
So let me just give what I think the best. If Damwon Gaming, if KT decides to fight everything and it's going to be high kill score, I think the top laner from Damwon Gaming is probably somebody that you want to have, Noguri. So Sowan had a pentakill in his last game. He picked Jace. I don't think that Damwon Gaming is going to let him play carry champion, because he's not really a carry player, but apparently he's good at Jace. So I would want him. I don't think I want Showmaker, because Kuro is going to play like a control mid laner and try to keep everything like 50-50 so that they can like fight around a 20-minute Baron or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
So I'd probably want Ghost and Noguri before I want Showmaker. But I don't want a lot of exposure to this game, period.
Yep. I am right there with you. Our 4th game, Fun Plus Phoenix, one of the best teams in the world, defending champion, right? If I remember correctly.
Yep.
Against Rogue Warriors, who is one of my favorite underdogs to play because of their aggressive style. Fun Plus Phoenix is the obvious favorite. why am I liking Rogue Warriors more and more as like my favorite underdog? I'm starting to like them more than Sunning for some reason. I don't know why. It feels weird.
I don't think that I want much exposure against Fun Plus Phoenix. They just destroyed LGD, and I would expect them to just destroy Rogue Warriors. I'm not. I love the Rogue Warriors and I love Haro, but I'm not. I don't think I would play them.
For me, I don't think Rogue Warriors wins in terms of winning, but it is the possibility of a 3-game kind of bloodbath as a contrarian underdog where you can see that high upside. Is that
Sure,
in the cards? That's kind of where I'm coming from if I decide to pay up for Vici Gaming, and
Yeah.
I do like Sunning and stuff a lot, but I just think it'll be super contrarian. And maybe Fun Plus Phoenix is resting on their laurels. I don't think they can get to first anymore. I think they're settled in the number 2 seed for the playoffs.
I'm not sure, but
Does that even matter?
It's like what happened. It's like what happened in Europe. People were saying that about G2 and Fnatic and saying like, oh, like there's nothing on the line. Maybe we shouldn't play them for DFS. And they had the 2 highest scoring performances of the entire.
That makes sense.
So I could see FPX doing something like that too.
Okay.
Where even though they're playing like weird picks,
Yeah.
they're still better.
Right.
So they're still going to win.
Right.
I mean,
Yeah.
Rogue Warriors, if I did want to play Rogue Warriors, I do like the fact that Crazy's playing today. I think he's the one starting. So if they can win game 1,
Very cheap, Crazy, by the way.
then I would want if I'm gonna play them, I want Crazy, Haro, Zwuji, and Lei. I think
Right.
Ruby's not great. He doesn't have tremendous upside. He's not really the kind of player you want to play in DraftKings, and you don't want this to be your primary stack either, because of the low chances of them winning the match. So I would want probably 2 out of those 3 players that I mentioned.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like one-off, trying to make unique lineup, sort of cheap underdog upside plays. Like Haro has shown, if it goes 3 games, he can score 100 points and they can still lose.
Yeah.
So I do like things like that. FPX is very expensive, so if we're stacking them as our primary stack, of course I keep losing my earbuds. I fucking hate these sons of bitches. I'm trying to get used to it and trying to use them. And I'm telling you right now, they're fucking pissing me off. They're expensive, so in terms of stacking them as your primary stack, value and going down to their jungler or their top in the captain spot so you can afford to actually do this.
Yeah, so I think the fact that this game may not matter for them, like in air quotes, which is what everybody's saying, if that's the case, and if you do believe that, then I think playing like an alternative game script where they're carrying through top lane instead of through mid lane or through the bot lane. Gimgoon had a really good performance last week, or the last slate that they played on, and I think he has a chance to do it again. So he had over 100 points last time, and if they want to try out something new for playoffs, I think one of the easiest things to try out would be to have him have them play through the top lane.
Yeah, I completely. It's the only way you can really do it, unless you want to go like underdog, a lot of underdog Damwon Gaming or something. If you make FPX your primary stack with their 80 carry and captain, it's not there. But Gimgoon you can get in your captain spot for 9,300, and that frees up a ton of salary. So I like that. I like that a lot. And then of course Do and B LWX. Of course they're in play. Huge upside, right?
What was that?
Just saying they're mid and 80 carry. Of course are in play. Their support is in play.
Yeah, always.
Even as a team, their team play is in play too. A 2-0 win against an aggressive Rogue War, it could be a ton of points for Fun Plus Phoenix, right? A ton.
Well, not really. Just because your team upside is capped based on how many dragons and barons you're going to take, because those are the only variables. Like every game, you can get 11. So if it went 3 games, the max number of towers you can get is 33. The number of dragons you can get you could theoretically get like 20 dragons in a 3-game set, which that would increase your upside by a lot. But you need to get first blood, win under 30 minutes, like all those kinds of things. So the upside, the maximum I think that I've seen a team score in a 3-game slate is like 80, but I don't think Fun Plus Phoenix gets. I don't think Fun Plus Phoenix gets to 80 against Rogue Warriors, because if they lose, it's going to be after like the first or second Baron.
Yeah, they haven't done that once, by the way, the entire spring. That hasn't happened. In their last 10 matches, nothing above their highest scores of 58.
Yeah.
So that may be where I avoid that high team score, stack them elsewhere, and then try to save some salary
Sure.
at the team spot. Final game, Sunning, RNG. For me, this is the hardest one to pick the winner. RNG is the favorite. Sunning, I think they're both in. I know RNG is in the playoff hunt, but I think Sunning is as well. Because of World Elite's loss last night. Like, World Elite losing last night was really bad for them in their playoffs.
Yeah, I like RNG, probably my favorite play on the slate. I think that they haven't looked great recently, but they have tremendous upside, and that's probably who I'm starting with today if I'm playing a bunch of lineups, or even if I'm running one lineup. I don't think they're eliminated from playoffs, so they need this one pretty bad. And I think Sunning's playstyle lines up perfectly with this, because basically, like, even if RNG has a lead, Sunning is going to show up to like Dragons and Barons trying to 5-on-5, and if RNG even has the slightest lead, I could see them winning every single team fight really hard. So yeah, I like RNG a lot. I think they're going to be probably the third highest owned team, maybe even the fourth, depending on how much. Okay, so I could see them being the fourth or the fifth highest owned team tonight, because I think VG is going to be number 1 or 2.
Mm-hmm.
FPX is going to be 1 or 2. I think Sunning will probably be more highly owned than RNG.
Wow, really?
Yeah.
The underdog?
People love Sunning.
Yeah, I do too.
It's like,
do too. And now I feel so dumb.
People are going to say, like, Sunning scores a lot of points. They're going to want one thing in their lineups.
Yeah.
They're going to say, I need an underdog to stack with Vici Gaming or Fun Plus Phoenix.
Mm-hmm.
They're not going to go to Damwon Gaming because it's Korean.
Mm-hmm.
And then they're going to say RNG's been losing.
Yeah.
So all of the narratives point towards Sunning having a little bump in ownership tonight. So I would want to go against that and play RNG.
If this is a 2-1 game, Sunning has shown the ability in a 2-1 game to put up over 100 points. They can put up massive numbers while losing. So this could even be a game stack, one game where you could consider game stacking, because Sunning is super cheap. They got Sunning priced way down.
Yeah. So on a 4-game slate, it gets a little more tough to game stack, but it's not impossible. I think with the Vici Gaming series and with the Fun Plus Phoenix series, I don't love game stacks tonight. I don't see many ways for it to get there. But
I mean, like a guy like Sword Art can score 70 points in a loss, and he's 4,800.
Yeah, but that comes down. I would need to look at the guy's sports projections graph. I would need to see when RNG loses, how bad do they lose? Because I don't think they are going to like cling on and try to stay involved in a game for 40 minutes when they can just lose and go to the next one.
Yeah, in terms of fantasy points allowed, they're one of the stingier teams across the board. So there is that. So I do agree with that. RNG, interesting. I like that. Anything else in this game before we go to our top plays and get the hell out of here?
No, yeah, that's fine. We can go to.
So what do you want to do? Your two top favorites and 2 top underdogs, since there's only 4 games.
Yeah, so Damwon Gaming is by far my favorite underdog. Like, it's not even close. I think that they should be a favorite.
Yeah.
And then my favorite is RNG. I think that the game script is good for them. Everybody's going to play everything else because of all the easy narratives. But this is a spot, I think, where you can play against all of the trends and all the narratives and have a really sharp play. So I would probably want to go that direction tonight.
Mm-hmm. And yeah. Oh, did you say your favorites as well? Yeah, you did. Of course. Sorry, I'm getting old and was.
Well, I only said one favorite because I think that is by far my favorite.
Gotcha.
The problem is, like, if it goes Vici Gaming, Damwon Gaming, Fun Plus Phoenix, RNG, like, I need to think about how the lineups would look. Yeah, like
for me, for cash games, like the safest, guaranteed, no doubt about it, win is going to be Vici Gaming against V5, right?
Yeah.
That's as close as you can get to safe. But for me, like, just the upside, I like FPX a lot as a favorite. I think the upside against Rogue Warriors is I'm gonna do whatever I can to have them in. And you talked me into RNG. I wasn't as big on RNG. I was higher on Sunning before you spoke, but what you said just made a lot of sense. And when we look at everything, favorite underdogs, definitely Damwon Gaming, like you talked about. I think they should be the outright favorite. They pretty even results, but again, they've won 3 out of the 5 games they've played in the 2 matches. They've looked good doing it.
Sure.
And for me, like another underdog, Rogue Warriors. I'm drawn to it. If by some chance they pull it off and beat Fun Plus Phoenix, I think they score a ton of points when they do it. It's not going to be my favorite play. Like if I'm playing one high dollar single entry, it will not include Rogue Warriors.
Yeah.
But they will certainly be involved. If I'm doing like 20 entries, 25 entries, I'll have 2 or 3 Rogue Warriors lineups where they're my primary stack winning the game.
Sure. So I would say the last thing is for Sunning versus RNG, the betting line is basically 75% to 33%. I think it's about right. Sunning's probably closer to 40%, like 35 to 40%. So I do have them right in line with what the sportsbook is saying. This is mostly based off of like game theory, knowing where everyone else is going to pick the players and hoping that the ownership is low on RNG.
Exactly.
So I don't see it completely different from the book, but I think most people playing DraftKings are going to convince themselves that they need Sunning tonight.
Yeah, and I think they're going to be all over Vici Gaming and FPX, just like you said. There's no doubt about it. They will be of the Chinese league teams, they will be the lowest owned favorite. RNG will be. I think you're 100% right. I don't see any way around that. Again, thank you all so much. That's it. Really appreciate you all. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Check us out on Twitter at League of Items, at DFS Bachelor. Check out Mike's YouTube channel. Don't forget the link down there for Mike's YouTube channel is down there below. Also, don't forget, the link may not be out when you watch it if you watch the show early, but check out Sportsbook Review. I'm going to be part of an interview there. If we get 20 comments in the comment section lying about how cool I am, I'm going to add $25 to the giveaway. That giveaway is going to be tomorrow. What? That's shameless. It's shameless. I love it. Really do appreciate it.
Closing on 400 on YouTube, I think. So let's
amazing.
get to 400.
Do you realize how quick that is for a show just starting? I don't even know. That's really good. Cheers to you all. Love you all. Thank you all so much. May the fantasy gods be with you tonight. Good luck, everyone.
Peace.